Ladies, we are about to listen to one young woman's account of the most deadliest relationship that she's ever been a part of. What's good, faves? It's your fave, Miss Renee. You guys, I am back at it again with another good food for your soul. And if you don't know what good food is, we're not eating, y'all. Not for our tummies. We're eating for our souls. And today I have a very special guest, a young lady that is going to share her story of survival, her desire to love, push past the pain, and continue on. So get ready. I'll see y'all in a minute. All right, faves. So I have with me, this is my sister's child, my niece, okay? All right? This is my baby, okay? And we are going to have a conversation today about a very needed conversation, not as pleasant as I like to have, but one that I know Don's story will help someone, okay? And we're talking about domestic violence today. But thank God. Thank God.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been worse.
Ooh, we are talking about surviving domestic violence. Her mother is also here in the studio. So she may even come in for a quick second if that's what she's comfortable with later. Because we are going to dig deep, okay? And I'm going to go on ahead and get started. So we're talking about a relationship with your children's father.
Yes, ma'am.
How long has y'all been together?
We were together for 10 years.
Okay.
Yes.
That's heavy right there, isn't it?
It's a long time
Mhm.
to be with someone.
Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm going to need y'all to keep up because things kind of go quick, okay? So, a 10-year relationship, 2 babies.
2 babies.
Boy and a girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so how early, tell me how you felt when you first met him.
When I first originally met him, I was actually home on break from college.
Okay.
We met through a mutual friend, and it was just kind of like, 2 people hanging out. It wasn't anything serious because I was going back to school, so I didn't want to build anything serious.
Okay.
In the end of 2011, 2012, I lost a brother. I was grieving over that. Me and him reconnected.
You and your baby's father.
Me and my children's father. We reconnected probably about 4 or 5 months after I lost my brother.
And y'all didn't have children at this time?
We didn't have children.
Right.
No, he had just lost a best friend. So I learned that, we connected over the same trauma.
Right.
We were connected to each other because, he was there for me, I was there for him.
That makes sense.
And that is where our 10-year relationship took off. We were.
So y'all were best friends.
He was my best friend. We did everything together. We went everywhere together. There was no me without him. There was no him without me. So yeah, he was literally my best friend for 10 years.
Can you remember the first time something felt wrong or he did something that you knew this isn't something my friend should be doing to me?
Yes, we had one incident. It was early in the relationship. We were probably together just about a year.
Okay.
And we had an argument, and he pushed me against the wall. At that time in my mind, as a young person in love, I didn't think it was that aggressive. He didn't.
That wasn't enough for you to say, I'm done.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
No.
He didn't take it further than that. He didn't hit me. You know, we were in an argument. I was aggressive.
You were saying some things.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, you know, we calmed down and
I'm sorry.
that was it. You know, it wasn't going to happen again.
Of course not.
So I took that and I believed that. And, you know.
And it didn't happen again, I'm assuming, for a while.
It didn't happen again for probably about a year or two.
Okay.
The next incident we argued, and this was the first time he physically hit me. As a young person, again, I was like, you know, he punched me. He punched me like I was a man.
Oh, Jesus.
It didn't cause any major damage, you know, and he was really good at making me believe that
it would never happen again.
It would never happen again, and that he was just, you know, that was the side of him that he was working on. And I believed it. I believed everything that came out of his mouth.
Now, you said something that it just went through me when you said it. Oh, my goodness. When you said he hit me in the face, he hit me like a man. He didn't do any major damage to me. Not on the outside.
Not on the outside.
But how did you feel on the inside?
I felt terrible.
Yeah.
It went through my mind that he really hit me.
And does he really love me?
And that broke me.
Yeah.
Because the one person that is supposed to protect me from anybody is the one that's harming me. But he would always make me believe that he loved me. And, you know, it would never go further.
You see how it's escalated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then at that time, I didn't see it. Couple weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. The excitement that I got from him is what kept me.
Oh.
The excitement.
Because he has a new lease of control.
Yeah.
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 He has another hand of control now.
Yes, ma'am. And to see how excited he was for us to... So in my mind, I thought, this is it. This is going to make us better.
This is classic, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I teach to this in the school system. This is classic.
Yeah. Whatever they say is what that is.
And wanting it to work. It is the relationship.
Yes.
Which is now your family.
Yes.
This is now your family.
And no woman ever has plans on being a single mother.
No, she does not. Was he cheating too?
He was.
Okay. That's another classic.
Yes. Actually, when he was when I found out I was pregnant, there was supposedly a woman that thought she might have been pregnant by him as well. So my pregnancy wasn't as special as I planned it to be.
Right.
It was a stressful pregnancy. You know, he didn't really make that pregnancy peaceful for me. I was sick through the whole pregnancy just due to the pregnancy itself. But then on top of that, I'm dealing with stress. And, you know, I'm arguing every day. So it wasn't as special as a woman wants it to be.
What that other baby is?
No.
Okay.
This was going to make us better. That you know, us having a baby, he was going to change his ways, you know. We had a son on the way, so he's going to show my son what a man is.
Oh, yeah. Step up and be daddy.
In his honor, because even though I knew he needed help on being a man, he was a good father. Ooh, you know, we had our troubles, but when it came to my kids, you know, I never had to worry about where my kids would go when I was at work. You know, he would always keep our kids. After I had my first child, my son was probably about 6 months. And we were at his house and we had another argument.
Y'all didn't live together?
No. I was adamant about not living together.
Okay.
As much as I loved him and wanted to be with him, we weren't married. There was no need for us to live in the same house.
Okay.
Now, you know, granted, I was always over there. He was always at my place, but we were never officially in the same household.
And this is never?
This is the whole 10 years.
Wow.
And I was like, I made sure he kept his place because that was something else I didn't want to have to deal with. You know, when I want you to leave, it would be harder to get you out.
That makes sense.
So we kept it that way. My son was about 6 months. We were, sitting in the house, and we got in an argument. In this situation, a lot of his friends were there. He hit me.
Are these other people?
In front of these other people. Nobody said a word.
Oh, wow. His house.
And we were at his house.
Now, time out. So did mom know any of this? Or were you keeping all of this from her?
Mom knew certain situations.
Right.
Because
we do go snooping, huh? We figure out some stuff.
And, and it was crazy because she knew about... I didn't tell her anything until I felt like it was too far. Like, there were incidences where he would draw blood, or I would have a black eye, and I would tell him, because in my mind, at that moment, I was done. So I'm telling my mom all these things, and I'm crying to my mom, and I'm telling my mom, I can't do this, I don't deserve this, and and at times I blame myself. I ask my mom, is it me?
It's never
it, and then of course he would draw me back in.
Let me say this real quick. So we always have to make sure we're out crystal clear on this. We are never to blame for someone else's actions. Never. They don't like something we said or done. They have the right to not like it. But how they react to it as far as putting their hands on us, that's never tolerated. That's never okay. It's never your fault. Him losing control, none of that has anything to do with you.
Right. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm acting like the man is here. Lord Jesus, he's not here, y'all. But I promise. Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a lot. It is a lot. Yeah. I caught myself defending his honor against the people I love the most.
Because now you've let them in, and now they're saying negative things towards him, but you've decided you're still going to be with him.
I want to be like this is it. Like it got to a point where it was either you're going to respect it or I'll keep my distance. And I found out the hard way, like that.
He wanted
that. That was another way.
That is exactly what he wanted. Yeah,
him,
just the way he wanted
our
it.
son until we had our second child, and it was. But in my eyes, that was okay with me. It was my family. I had my family. That was okay with me.
I've gone through it too.
Yeah. You lose friends.
Yeah.
You lose
confidence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your self-esteem.
Yes, ma'am.
You start believing that somehow this is partly my fault.
Yeah. I had all those feelings. All of them. It was, for someone who's been through it, when it's great, it's great.
Oh, yeah.
And
because they are all of that.
Oh, when it's great, nobody could measure up to him. And and you want to hold on to that. Because I know
the good was so amazing.
Yes. Because I've seen your great side, so I know it's there. So when it gets bad, it just, it wasn't that bad. It just was
waiting for that good guy to come back.
I think I held on to that probably like the first 5 or 6 years of our relationship. Why are you still here?
Would he?
Yeah. And I knew then that should have been my cue to go. And I would always respond with, because I know who you can be.
Wow.
I know who I fell in love with. And that's who I want. He was in the streets a lot. He was wild. He was always out. So when I met him, he calmed down a lot. He was always with me. So I felt like I had some type of effect on him because he's willing to leave everything he's always known alone for me and his kids. He would try to work. That was the only thing I would always defend to my family, because he actually had a medical condition, which put a strain on certain jobs he could do. He attempted, and when he attempted, I applauded. I cheered him on, and when it didn't work, I understood. For now, and I was pretty much the breadwinner, and it was a lot.
Okay, so question. So were you helping him pay his bills as well as pay your own?
I was not.
You was not. So he maintained that on his own.
He maintained his bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People adored our relationship
because he has narcissistic behavior.
He was
and
a totally different person.
Turn it on and turn it off.
Up from around everybody else. Yeah. Nobody knew what other side there was, unless it was close family. But people loved our relationship, and I would always tell him, if only they knew. There was physical abuse through those years. But in my mind, I had it in my mind that because, I was never hospitalized, or because he had never broken a bone, that he wasn't really trying to hurt me. He was just trying to,
That's a lie.
And in
my
mind,
have really rationalized all of this. Because now you got years with this guy. So if he really wanted to hurt me,
then he would have.
Because you are a very small, petite woman, he would have just did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in my mind, he wasn't really trying to hurt, and he would always tell me that. He would always make me believe it. One of his favorite questions would be, I would never really do anything to harm you.
Wow.
So 4 years passed, and I'm pregnant again. Was I as excited?
Not so much.
Because I knew where we were. When I told him, it was the same excitement. He was ecstatic. When we found out our second was going to be a girl.
Oh yeah.
That was it for me. That's all he ever asked for.
He wanted a daughter. So in my mind, for me to be the one to give him this daughter, this is gonna be it. A daughter's first love is her dad. So this man is gonna show my daughter what love is. But he's not showing you.
No.
But he's gonna show the baby.
He's gonna. In my mind, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. When I had my daughter, there was an incident. I had found something out that, he had been unfaithful. I woke him up out of his sleep and questioned him about it. I woke him right up, questioned him about it, and I went in the next room. He got up, and he came in the next room, and he hit me. And he hit me. And he said, and as I'm crying, telling them to stop, it's, you woke me up, this is what you asked for. Yeah.
Okay.
So at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I'm calling my mom. And I'm telling her to tell my dad, come get us. Come get me and my kids. He got home, he called. And everything was normal. Everything was normal.
To him?
To him. He wanted to know when we coming back.
Like today? Like right now?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. And I think after so many years, I started to realize that he wasn't going to leave me, because why would you leave a woman who accepts all that you're putting her through?
Right. You was going to have to leave him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 years of our relationship, that was my mindset. I started to believe that he's not here for love. He's here because I won't leave. Yeah. And the first...
Wow. Did he ever say to you, if you leave, I'll kill you? Did he ever say that?
He never said those words.
Okay.
I make jokes about things. But in my mind, I knew he wasn't joking. Nobody would ever be important to him as I was. And for the longest, as a young woman that wants to be in love, that was flattering. That you would never let a woman, you would never let another woman get as close to you as I have. So in my mind, that's what I held on to, because in my mind, nobody could ever do what I do. Nobody can ever make you feel how I feel. Nobody will ever love you the way I love you. You know, I stay, and I would ask them all the time after we had our daughter, you know, what did you want a daughter for? Because now my daughter is witnessing you abuse her mother. You know, I don't want my son to think that's the type of man he's supposed to be, and I don't want my daughter to find a man like that.
Next question. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off before I forget. Would he hit you in front of the kids?
Yes. There were.
And let me say something else too. You come from a 2-parent family home.
I come from a 2-parent family home. Yes, ma'am.
So you know how a man is supposed to treat a woman.
Yes, ma'am. My dad never put his hand. My brothers never put their hands on me. And you know, as a young woman, when you see things like that in the world, you know, as a young woman growing up, finding who she was, my main thing was, you know, a man's never going to put his hands on me.
Absolutely.
You know, we all have that mindset. If a man puts his hands on me,
I'm done.
Oh, you know, but that moment when it happens, you don't know how to react, because you have a million thoughts running through your mind. I had a million. It was, you know, if I fight back, will he really fight me? You know, can I get out of here safely? Will he let me leave? You know, does he really love me? I had a million thoughts.
Wow.
Yes. So when, and he knew that, you know, he knew what type, and we were from 2 totally different backgrounds.
Absolutely.
2 totally different. Right. And I knew that, but that was the excitement.
And that was the attraction.
Yes. Because
he's your bad boy.
Yeah. You know, he was wild. You know, he did things. It was like a thrill, sense of excitement, that protection, you know, that love that I thought I wanted. And it was all wrapped up in one person.
I want you to tell me about the time you decided to leave.
Okay. So, last year, I had started. Now, the last 2 years of this relationship, I was mentally gone. I was gone before I was physically gone. There was nothing he could argue about that I cared that much about. I stopped putting up fights. I stopped putting up arguments. It just is what it is. Last year, I started a new job I prayed for a long time.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
And I was happy. You know, I was happy. I was making good money. You know, my kids were good. Life was good, you know. And of course, when I mentally left, I feel like every man knows when a woman is mentally gone.
Oh, yeah.
His whole persona was different. You know, at this time, he's the sweetest guy. You know? But at that point, it didn't matter. I was done. I begged for that person for so long. So now I don't want it. So, you know, I was working 6 days a week, 10, 12-hour days. When I got off, I was a mom. You know, and I was still doing things for him. You know, we still had our family. Even though I was mentally gone, you know, I still loved him. Probably about 6 months into my job, well, probably about 4 months into it, my job became a problem. Now I'm working too much. He would attack my character as a mother. You know, because as a mother who works all the time, you know, we beat ourselves up enough. I beat myself up enough, missing some things that my children, you know, were going through. I missed a lot of milestones, you know. It bothered me to not be with my kids as much as I wanted to be. But
were you ever concerned that he would hurt the kids?
I was not.
Okay.
I never really had that thought.
Okay. Like he would never take his frustration out on you, on them. Like if he was angry at you, he would never take it out on them.
Right. Okay. I would, you know, there were times that we were in altercations and he would probably yell a little too loud. And I didn't agree with that, but in my mind, I never thought he would physically take his aggression towards me out on my kids. I would talk to my mom daily. So the holiday of
2021. Okay.
Both of my kids I have one born before Christmas, one born after Christmas.
Okay. All in the month of December?
All in the month of December.
Okay, ladies, we are not finished just yet. The plot thickens. You guys come back for part 2.